Hello, I'm John Castro and welcome to John's IT Vlog, and today I am very excited to show you what I just bought. Is my new Raspberry Pi 4 by Canakit Starter Kit. I'm going to be opening it up and showing you guys what's inside and also just show you the basic setup and how to do it. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so basically what I've done here is just I've taken everything out of the box and just I've laid it all out here for you guys to see each component and each part of this Canakit Starter Kit. And remember, this is one of their kits. This is what my particular one includes, which is a starter kit here. So I just wanted to show you what it all includes. And so you might be needing other pieces and other things along the way in order to build your own Raspberry Pi 4. And so that's why before setting it up and everything else, I just want to be able to show you guys what it all includes. And so here it is. So the first thing, you can see a quick start guide, and so it shows you all kinds of things here, from warranty information to actually getting started with the different components and parts and so on and so forth. Even it has a GPIO port in for Python instructions and everything else. Secondly, we do have a case here, so this is a cool transparent see-through case, which I like here, and it's got these stoppers here on the bottom, so it'll help definitely just to make sure it's not being pulled away or anything. We have a 16 gigabyte SD card. Now I had to use the one that came with the package here for something else. I am using a 64 gigabyte one, but the one that comes with the package is a 16 SD card. It also comes with a HDMI to HDMI mini cable, and so for you to connect directly from your Raspberry Pi into your monitor. It has also the USB-C power supply, which we have to remember, this is the way in which you turn the computer on and off, turn your Raspberry Pi on and off by basically plugging and unplugging. Now there are other kits and other components that include for the ability for you to connect a on and off button, so you can directly do that on your own. But right now with this kit, it'll be sufficient just to, whenever I need the system to start, I just connect the little cable here, the little USB-C, and that turns it on. We also have the heat sinks here for the different components, the processor and the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi component, and for the RAM as well. And finally, the Raspberry Pi itself. And so just to show you guys the different parts for you to remember what it comes with here. As you can see, we've got two USB 2.0 ports and two USB 3.0 ports, the Ethernet connection, which by the way I recommend for you to use that when you're setting up for a more reliable connection. Then we also have an audio jack right here. We also have these here are the two mini HDMI connections, so you can actually have dual monitors in here with this, which is great. Also, we have this here is the USB-C entry for your power, and also the GPIO component here for different type of things that you want to add into the Raspberry Pi for different projects. And so they have a small guide actually that comes with the box that you can see what pin does what. And then also you also have a PoE connector right here that you buy separately in case that you want to power over Ethernet. It'll be right here. Actually, this here is for you to connect a display or a little screen that is made for the Raspberry Pi that you can actually set on top, and you can actually, a little touch screen, everything. So that's connected through here, and through here you can connect the camera as well. So if you want to have like a webcam, you connect it through this connector right here. So these are basically is a very quick see-through for specs. Just go to the link below for the detailed specs on this. I just wanted to show you the particular one that I got is a 4 gigabyte RAM for me. So that, remember, it comes from 4, 8, and 16. So I got the 4. So this is it, guys, for this section. This is the layout, and what I'm gonna be doing next here is giving the instructions on how to download. Remember that I do not have the original SD card, so how to download the Raspbian, which is the operating system for the Raspberry Pi 4, how to load it up into the SD card, and finally how to just get it up and running. So let's do that next. Hey guys, alright, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be downloading the Raspberry Pi Imager. Now, this is great because it gives you all the tools you need in one app, one application for Windows or Linux or Mac OS, for you to be able to grab the operating system you want, basically, out of the options they gave you there, and writing it right onto your SD card. And so in the past, you used to like download the ISO file and then setting up another app in order to write the image. But now the Raspberry Pi website gives you all of it in one tool, which is really cool. So let me show you how to download it really quick. It's really easy. So once you go to your browser, we go to raspberrypi.org, and after we go to that website, we just go to downloads. And on downloads, as you can see here, you can choose between Raspberry Pi Imager for Windows, Mac OS, or Ubuntu. Now this is great, like I said, because it gives you everything. So what we're gonna do is choose for Mac OS in my case, and I've already downloaded it. So you download that and install it into your applications. And once you're done with that, you can open up the Imager software. Now it gives you here on the website other versions to install by running the Imager on the terminal if you're doing it through Linux, and some other recovery options in other operating systems and so on. So check all that out, but this will be the easiest for you here, the Raspberry Pi Imager. So once we open that app, once you've downloaded it and installed it, you open it up, it'll look like this. Raspberry Pi Imager version 1.4, and look how cool this is here. You can actually, in the first part, you can choose the operating system that you want for your Raspberry Pi 4. So the one that is recommended, the one that they have done, that they have released, is the stable version, Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit. Now, used to be called Raspbian, and so you might have heard me in other videos saying Raspbian, but now they actually are calling it now Raspberry Pi OS, and so this is the recommended one. That's the one we're gonna be installing. But I just want to show you guys really quick the other stuff. Raspberry Pi Other. Once you go in there, you can have a light version that it's probably around 400 megs, or a full version with some recommended apps, and that is 2.5 for downloading that one. And other options like the Delivery ELE packages here with the Kodi Media Center. And Ubuntu actually as well, different versions of that, especially tailored for the Raspberry Pi. And also you can do the RetroPie, which is turning basically your Raspberry Pi into a retro gaming machine. And so I'll post another video about that. We're gonna image that and try it out. I actually bought 2 little controllers, and so that should be fun. But we're here for installing the Raspberry Pi OS. So you choose the operating system here, and you know what? Let me change my mind. Is that okay? Let me just go ahead and install the full version. How's that? Let me install the full version here, Raspberry Pi OS full, just with other extra apps and stuff for us to use. Now on the SD card, we're going to be writing now the image of the operating system into the SD card now. So for that, make sure that you choose the right media for that. And so I have connected the little SD card into an adapter, and I placed that adapter into my MacBook Pro, and this is the only device that is connected externally. So we are going to go with that SD card reader. It is going to erase everything and place the image of the operating system in there. So we're just gonna go ahead and write it, click on write, and we'll just let it write and get back and see what's next. Alright guys, so we are all done here with the installation. It says Raspberry Pi OS full has been written into the reader media, the SD card. So we can now remove the SD card from the reader. So continue. and we remove the SD card. It's right here. And now what we're going to do is we'll take this out of the adapter and put it inside of the Raspberry Pi 4. It's actually located at the bottom. There's a little slot there for you to insert that, and then after that we're going to be firing it up and follow the continuing prompts and see where it takes us there, and then go into the operating system. So let's check that out. Alright guys, well, as soon as we connected our power supply and everything was ready to go, the screen started booting up, and now it took us directly to the Raspberry Pi. And so as you can see here, welcome to the Raspberry Pi desktop. Before you start using here are a few things to set up, and so we're gonna click next to get started. So we're gonna do that, and now it's gonna be showing us the setting up of location and all that. So it has United Kingdom as default, but we're gonna change it to United States where I'm at, and then the our zone here, time zone for the East, in my case. Sorry. Click next. Now is after setting the location. Remember what I had recommended before is that we have it connected to the network directly, wired. And so right now I do have it wired, and so it will make things easier as far as connectivity, getting updates, and so on and so forth. Right now we need to set a password for the default Pi user. If you like to change that Pi user name, which is the one that comes by default, check out the video above, and we're gonna do a password here. We're gonna go ahead and click next, and then the screen here is just telling us that the resolution should fill out the full screen. But if you do have a black showing around, I don't know if you can see it here, but I do have a little black showing on the borders, and so if you do have that, do click on that box if you do have a little black border like I do actually now. So we can click on that and go next, and so it's letting the system know that we need to fix that for the next time it restarts. Right now we can skip the wireless networks because I am on a wired connection, and also it has the software updates, which I would like to skip because we can do that afterwards as well. And then the setup is complete and we can restart. So let's go ahead and restart it now. Now that we have restarted, as you can see now, I don't know if you see it, but now the black border is not there anymore, which is great. It automatically adjusted to the resolution of my screen. And now that we're logged in, what we're going to do next is just make sure we have the latest versions here, and so we're gonna go to the terminal and make sure that we're installing the updates. And so we're gonna type sudo apt-get update. So we're telling it to update the system, and so now it's working on doing that for us. Now while we're doing some updates, there's a couple of things here that we can set up on the side. So we can go to Pi and Preferences and to Pi Configuration, and what we want to do there is we want to make sure that we do not auto log in if you want to have an extra layer of security there. So we're going to have this unselected so that we can actually log in with a password. Another thing that I would like to have here is enable SSH and VNC. This is for remote connections. So these are two things that we can actually have ready to go for the system. And you can see other things as well here that are your choice to configure here. But for now, these are the two that work for me. All right, and it seems that we already have updates here. And another command that we're going to give it just to make sure that we're up and running is sudo apt-get upgrade. And we just want to make sure that we're running with the latest versions here. I'm going to click yes and go. And so sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get upgrade should be the very first two commands that you give the terminal in any Linux environment to make sure that you're up and running properly with the latest packages. So right now it's doing that, and this one is taking a little bit longer just to make sure that it is upgrading to the latest packages here. But other than that, guys, well, that's it. Your Raspberry Pi is running with Raspberry Pi OS. There's so much that you can do with these things. It's amazing. You can look up a lot of videos, but this is the basic setup that gets you just for a basic operating system. I am planning to use this for many things, even to have my daughter check it out and use it as her first computer ever, which is a great thing to have for her first computer. So anyway, guys, I hope you like it. Stay tuned for other videos on Raspberry Pi, little things here and there, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.